We hear it all the time. We hear people making 6 figures, 7 figures, and they live this happy, ever-ending life, right? Well, we're going to dive into today's podcast about the real truth of what happens behind the scenes as you grow your business. You ready to dive in? Let's do this. Hey friends, welcome to Because I Can live podcast. Today's episode is an update with Bev Schweigert. I actually interviewed her in episode number 38, how she was able to cross the 6-figure mark. And I wanted to see how she's doing today. And so I brought her in with an interview with some of my students. And this was so impactful and so powerful that I wanted to share it with you. She's going to dive into some of the mistakes she made. She's going to dive into some of the things that helped to move her forward, to help her to keep going when she wanted to quit. And I think in the business entrepreneur journey, a lot of times we hear all these success stories, like people wake up and the next day they hit 6 figures and then they go on and on and on, and it's just like a happy ending. Well, Bev has and tells the real story of what it takes to grow beyond that 6-figure mark. So episode number 38 is her journey from start to her first 6 figures. And then this episode today is about how she crossed the 6-figure mark. And she'll tell you how much she made in this episode and what she did to be able to get there. I hope you love this episode as much as I did interviewing Bev. So you ready? Let's dive in. We have so much good information to share with you because Bev, like a year and a half ago, was where a lot of you are right now. Worried about your logo, worried about the details that actually don't even need to be worried about, and was struggling creating offers. And I watched Bev actually explode because she started to understand what offers meant. Now, when Bev started, it wasn't like she started with 30,000 offers. She started with 1 and then built it to 2 and then built it to 3. And now I have her teaching Trello organization all the time is because she is putting out so many offers every single day and she's got it organized. And so that's one of the reasons why I wanted to bring her on today. Okay, so are you guys ready? We're going to bring Bev on. I've got my microphone here. It's like the singing microphone. We're going to do this. All right, here we go. Bev's coming in. Hi, Bev. How's it going?
Hi, I'm good. How about you?
You know, I'm good. It's a good day. This morning I was stressing because the Wi-Fi kept going out. We don't have internet in our house. And then I found another place and it was going out. And I'm like, man, there's something powerful that's going to happen today. Because the more resistance that I have and I feel, the more powerful what is about to happen is. So I'm so glad you're here. So Bev, you guys look at everybody in the comments. Hi Bev, yay, yay, yay.
I love you all.
Okay, so Bev, I want you to start with the beginning of your story. So if you'll start with the beginning of your story, and then we can go into kind of like where you were stumbling, how you broke through, and then at the end, don't let me forget to ask, because we had some people asking yesterday that little, what is it called? Fake spot? Fake spot. Yeah. Fake spot. How we can get rid of that on our website. So let's dive in. Let's hear your story. And then let's hear where you got stuck and then how you were able to break through.
Okay. All right. So the start was, I worked 15 years in a job. I designed monuments for a funeral home, and I was the office manager. And I was so stressed because I had four other offices that reported to me, and it was a lot of work. It was a lot of stress. So once we got our girls through college and through weddings, I told my husband, I said, I'm done. We can afford to live on your salary. Thank goodness that we had planned. So I was able to quit my job. So I was at home and I wanted to get more into mission work, which I already was really into anyway. But I started trying to figure out a way that I could fund my mission trips. We love to go to Peru, a lot to the Amazon jungle. And I didn't know how I could fund those without dipping more into my husband's money. So I decided he has a woodworking business on the side. He sells scroll saw woodworking that he does just as a hobby. So it was right before Christmas. It was in November 2018. I started looking online for something to help me learn how to sell his items online. And of course, when I did the search, Miss Alison came up and I started stalking her like so many of you have done. And I binged watched for a week every single thing I could find that Alison had, everything. And my husband was like, what are you doing? I'm like, oh, I'm trying to figure out how I can, do this. Well, I wanted to do it on my own. I didn't want to join the group. I thought I can do this. And as I kept working more and more on figuring out how I could do this, I had to read all this stuff, and I was spending all this time trying to figure it all out on my own. So I finally bit the bullet and I signed up, and I did do the PayPal plan because I wanted to make sure I didn't want to just spend the money. So I did the 6 months, same as cash. I figured, okay, I'm going to divide that up. I know how much I have to have each month to pay it off without having the interest charge. So I signed up. Started finding out ways to post his items. I applied to Pick Your Plum. I didn't even have a website. I applied to Pick Your Plum. I was accepted. And I got all the business stuff done first. And I started posting his items on Pick Your Plum, and they started selling. So I'm going through Alison's program. I learned how to do the shipping. I learned how to do everything. And believe me, when she says you don't want to explode immediately, you don't want to explode immediately, because I got, just a few sales a time, and I've had to figure out all the shipping and how it connected, get my labels printed, everything like that. And it worked. So I got those items shipped. I then found on eBay a gentleman who had some wooden magnetic toys that come apart. My grandson at the time was 2, so I figure I'm going to buy some from him. If Josiah can figure out how to make these work, then I'll see if I can sell them. So I bought some, gave it to him. And he right away knew how to figure out how to put the helicopter together, how to put the airplane together. So I bought quite a few from this gentleman on eBay. And I resold those on Pick Your Plum, and they went really well. It was right before Christmas. It was perfect timing. So then I kept thinking, well, my husband doesn't have enough stuff for me to sell, and I couldn't find any more of these toys like this guy had. So I had to figure out what I wanted to do, where my passion was. And I kept coming back to the fact that I was doing this to earn money for mission projects. So while we were in Peru, the time before that, I should have grabbed one. Sorry. We got actually I can get one if you don't mind. I'll go grab the little cross. What is it? I'll be right back.
Okay, well, she's grabbing that. I want you to make note of some of the things that she is saying. Number one, she did the pre-work. She was stalked me. Guys, feel free to stalk me. I mean, don't creepy on me, but do your homework, right? I want you to know that I'm the one that can help you, that Megan's the one that can help you. Okay, I love that she did that. And there's some hate out there, which, what? Everybody has hate out there. Mr. Rogers has hate. How come I hate that man? I don't know. I love Mr. Rogers. Okay, and then the next thing, she learned how to do this little by little. She just didn't jump into thousands of orders. I've seen more companies die from that than not growing. Too much growth can kill you. And then she started on marketplaces, so not her own website. And she sold other people's stuff.
Yep.
It wasn't her stuff yet. And so she learned how to do this process by building with resources to be able to grow this beautiful business she has today. She did not start her business as it is today. There was this journey that she had to go through and some learning processes that she had to do. Okay, keep going. Show us what you got. Show and tell.
So these are the little wooden crosses that a gentleman in Peru hand-carved. His grandfather hand-carved them, and they're just out of mahogany wood. So I bought 100 of them, and I actually talked to him the first day, and it took him a week to hand-carve them and get them to me before we left for the airport to return home. So I got these, and I got home, and so I'm thinking, I've got those 100 crosses. I bet I could sell those too. Well, then I started thinking about other jewelry that I could sell to share my faith. And that's when I started looking into AliExpress. And I found a bunch of keychains, a bunch of jewelry, a bunch of necklaces. So I ordered, 5 or 6 samples of each one. they'd come in, I was buying something else I liked, and I ordered some more. Found some else I liked and ordered some more. So I had this constant cycle of samples coming in. And then if I liked it and it was good quality, then I would test it on Pick Your Plum, see if it's sold. If it's sold, if people liked it, I posted it on my Facebook page. And if people liked it, then I would buy more. So it was just this constant cycle. And I still do that today. As I'm finding new items, I still get samples of every single one, because even if it's from the same supplier, that doesn't mean the quality's the same. So I would still keep buying samples and then ordering more as they came in. So I did that. And then I finally came up with my name. Well, I wanted my name for my LLC. And I bought the domain, and I applied for it. And 3 days later, I didn't like it. So believe me, the name is not that important, because all I did was file a DBA then. And
Wait, what was it? I want to know what that first name was.
Bright Blessings. So my LLC is Bright Blessings LLC, Bright Blessings Boutique. But I just didn't like it as much. And then I found that Blessed Bee Boutique was available, and I thought, oh no, that's what I want. So I have a DBA underneath Bright Blessings, and that kind of makes it all over. So my LLC is not that important as far as what the name is. I can put any DBA under it then that I want that pertains to the same idea. So
wait, sorry, you're dropping so much gold right here that I hope you guys are catching this, because it's just coming down in sheets. We're talking about huge, massive Puerto Rico rain floods that Bev is giving us right now, not the sprinkle that you get over in Seattle. We're getting massive pour downs right now. So Bev just hit it so head on. Perfection. She is not headed for perfection. She chose a name and she's like, oh, I don't like it. She didn't say, oh, I need to get a whole new LLC. What does a DBA cost? 15, 20, 30 bucks wherever you're at?
Yeah, it wasn't a little bit. Pennsylvania is inexpensive, thank goodness.
yes. So she was able to move her business, and she's like, I don't like it. I have a gajillion DBAs, because my first thought on business names are so dumb. And it has to sit with me for a second. And then a month later, I'm like, that's what it is. That's what it is. So good. Okay. Oh, that was good. No perfection. We're moving forward. Okay, keep going.
Yeah. Okay, so then I decided to set up my Shopify store. And I started out with 5 items on my Shopify store. They were 3 keychains and 2 necklaces. That's all I had on my store. The first thing I did to try to get customers is I did a page for my business, for a Facebook page. And then I had my website, and I started going on and doing lives. And I decided that I would do a live, and I started inviting people to a big open house sale type online. So I did that first, and that finally was about February of 2019. So I did that, got it going, sold some things at my open house. Thankfully, I had already had things going where I had more items coming in, because I had already been getting all of these samples. So I went ahead and had more items to share. Well, then I started slacking off. Even though I did well at my live, I didn't schedule another one. And I had MailChimp at the time. I had it set up. I was collecting emails, but I didn't send out any emails because I thought, I don't want to bother them. They don't want to hear from me. No, I don't want to bother them. So no, I'm not going to send emails. But then we went to your first conference and in Utah. And oh my gosh, I was blown away. I was blown away by, first of all, Trello and how I could start organizing all of the things that I'm doing for my business, because I was jumping from this to this to this to this. So that helped me organize things when I got back. But some reason in the back of my mind, for the next 7 months, I still just kept fudging around with my website, making sure that this was right. And I was listening to all of Alison's podcast, or all of her lives, everything that somebody told me that I should try this. I did it. I added it to my website. Oh, my website looks so nice. Everybody was going on and on about how awesome my website was, but I wasn't getting sales. I was spending the money every month, but I wasn't getting the sales. I didn't do another live. I don't know why. I just didn't. I just kept going along. And then I would bellyache to my husband that I was doing everything Alison told me, but I wasn't making any money. But I wasn't doing everything Alison told me. I was doing the things I wanted to do that Alison told me. I wasn't doing the things that she told me were important. Number one, she kept telling me my prices were too low. She kept telling me, you are not the low loss leader. You've got to raise your prices. And she kept saying this over and over to me. And I was afraid to increase them. Jewelry has a high profit. There's no doubt about it. It's easy to ship. I love selling jewelry. So I felt guilty buying something for low cost and times four-ing it to sell it. But I kept thinking, but then I can offer them a better discount and that will get more people in the door. So I'm still posting. I'm getting some followers on Facebook. I'm getting some new followers on Instagram. But I just kept showing the same post to the same people over and over and over. I was doing okay with offers, I think. I didn't have the stars formula yet, so I was just kind of putting things out there. But the same people were buying it seeing it over and over, and I kept going, but they're not buying. And it's because the same people were seeing it over and over. They didn't need, 5 of the same necklace. Yeah, they might buy it for a gift or what else, whatever. So finally, in the fall of 2019, I was like, I've got to start doing more. I've got to start doing more. So I decided to go ahead and send out an email for Christmas. And it went okay. It went pretty good. I made some sales. I sent out a couple more right before Christmas, and I made sales on this too.
Wait, Bev, how many did you have on your email list? Was it like hundreds of thousands of people?
Oh, goodness, no. Maybe 200, and that was maybe 200.
Okay, good. I love that, because sometimes people see you now and they forget where you started. Yeah. And they forget that 200 people is like mind-blowing. They're like, I only have 200 people. I'm like, no, you have 200 people. That's so good. Okay, keep going.
So I sent those emails out, and I started getting some sales in, and my Christmas really wasn't bad compared to what I was doing before. I was finally hitting, a couple $100 a month, which I was happy with. I was like, oh, I'm finally making money. I'm covering my costs. That's all that mattered, was that I was covering my costs. So then, my husband's here with the mail. So then
Hi, Frank. Hi, Frank.
Say hi.
Hello.
Oh, you gotta get down lower. So then in January, after my husband did our taxes, he's like, babe, you got to figure out whether you're going to make this a hobby or whether you're going to make this a business. And because I've given it a whole year, and I was getting frustrated, and I was getting frustrated. There's no doubt about it. So I decided that I was going to start using my email list. So I started actually sending out email lists. And I started out with the free offer because you kept telling about the give. You don't want to just keep pushing sales. So I started once a month or once a week with a free download of a coloring page that was Christian based. And then I would have a sale the end of the week. And then I just kept doing that for a month. Well, my open rate, by then I had switched over to Active Campaign because MailChimp had the fight with Shopify. So I switched to Active Campaign, and I could see my open rates, and they were pretty good. And I started getting sales. I'm like, wow, okay, so this is working. So then I decided that I would keep on doing this. And I added a couple other things into my weekly emails. And my first few emails, oh my gosh, were they bad. Oh my goodness. And I sit there and think, wow, that was really bad. But it was practice because I had to learn how to use Active Campaign, how to send it out, how to make it work right. I had to get my my sequences right so that I knew that, your abandoned carts and things like that. And I had some of those already done through MailChimp, but I had to redo them for Active Campaign. So I got that done. And then you offered Next Level. And I was like, I'm in. So I had Coach Katie Oliver and I had Megan, and every week, just like you guys, I was in there and I was learning. Well, at first I'm like, I already know this. I've been doing this for a year and I already know this. But then my head coach got into my head and said, well, Bev, if you know this, why aren't you applying some of these things? I'm like, I didn't have an answer. So I finally started actually applying the things that they were teaching me. And the big one was offers. Remember I said I did well in Pick Your Plum? After I did well for a few things, it started slowing down and I wasn't getting as much sales. So I stopped using them. Why should I waste my time doing that if I'm only going to get a couple orders out of each one? So I stopped using them. So I started again in March. I was approved for Pick Your Plum. So I went ahead and put some more items on Pick Your Plum. By that time, I applied to Brad's Deals and I was accepted to Brad's. I started putting out more and more posts with actual offers in them. I started sending more offers out in my emails. Maybe they were just stories, just like Megan taught you with that push formula, talking about how something is made or how they could use this necklace or who they could give this necklace to or this key ring or whatever. And I would try to put a story around it. They might have seen that same key ring 5 times before, but they never thought of giving it to this person. And then they would buy. So that was March. That was just March of last year, guys. March of last year. I guess April.
Oh, wait. And what was happening of March of last year?
There was this big C word that started coming.
Like the whole world was shutting down. And Bev, I saw so many people say, there's uncertainty. I can't sell. I got to give stuff away for free. I gotta do this and this. And Bev stood up and she didn't sell jewelry. She sold hope. She sold hope in the future. And that's when she started selling off. Do you think Bev was building that momentum? And so when that wave came, she was able to sail it on in? Yeah, totally. Okay, there's a couple other things in here because it's so good. Okay, you hear her talking about consistency? How at first she sent that first email and was like, I don't want to bug people. You're not bugging people. You're serving people. Get sales and bugging out of your head and put service in your head because that's what you do as an entrepreneur. You serve people. Then she raised her prices. Why? Because cheap jewelry is like dollar store jewelry that turns your neck green. No one wants that stuff. If you sell clothes and it's cheap, it's like cheap Walmart clothes you wear once and you throw away. People are tired of cheap crap. And your prices, if they're too low, reflect that. Raise your prices. And another thing she said, new eyeballs. Remember how we talked about warm and cold yesterday or the day before? I don't remember what day it is. They're all blurring together. She learned that she had to get out to a different audience. Different audience. Okay, guys, I hope you're writing these things down because this is so good. So good. Okay, Bev, keep going. Keep going.
Okay, I forgot to share something that I also did in January 2019. Do you remember the person that Alison was talking about who said that she lost $30,000 in Facebook ads? Guess who that was? $30,000, people. I trusted a guy who told me that he could take my business to skyrocket. And I let him have control of my entire account without learning how to even do Facebook ads. I just gave him the trust. I paid him a monthly flat fee that was ridiculous. And I gave him a blank, empty credit card. And after 4 months, I was down $30,000. And he kept saying, you just have to feed it more, Bev. You just have to feed it more. And I trusted this man. So here I was in January, February, March, April. I'm finally starting Next Level. And I cut him off. I was supposed to be a 5-month contract. He actually let me out my last month because he realized how much he was costing me. And he was a sweet guy. Don't get me wrong. He wasn't one of these mean, sleazy guys. He just did not know how to reach my target audience correctly. So that's why I had to make my business grow. I had to be the one that took control of that surfboard and make sure it was steered in the right direction. So I put my whole trust in that program. So finally, by April, I had my first 10K month. That was due to Brad Steele's had a lot to do with it because I was finally getting brand new eyes from it. Thank goodness. But it was also because my customers then had no place else to shop. They weren't going out. They still wanted gifts. One of the best items that I had was She Believed She Could, So She Did necklace. I had tried to sell that for a year and couldn't get anybody to buy it. But then I thought, wow, April, these girls are graduating from high school. They're graduating from college, and they've got, I spread the word that they needed to give this necklace to some girl that is not going to have a graduation, yet we know she's going to make it. I sold tons of them. And luckily, my supplier could get them to me quickly, and I did fantastic with it. I kept going. I increased my offers. I posted, if you go into the 0-100 Facebook page and look for, I think it's May 2nd, offer a day in May. And I challenged everybody in the group to do an offer a day. And they're like, offer? What's an offer? What's an offer? What do you mean by an offer? And so we started sharing all these ideas on where you could put offers. Still, look for that post, guys. There's gold in that post, complete gold on what you could do. So I kept on doing that. So every day I was putting out offers in different places. I kept track of them on my Trello board so that I knew exactly where these offers were on what days. And I knew what was going on what day so that I wasn't overlapping. I knew I had enough merchandise for this. I knew I had enough merchandise for that. By that time, I had started hiring people because I couldn't handle it. $10,000 a month in jewelry that's only valued, my average cart value is only $20. So that's a lot of jewelry going out of my business. So my daughter started coming and she started packaging orders for me. I have another girl that still comes and she grabs my boxes of jewelry that comes in a little box, and she takes it home and she repackages it for me and brings it back in a nice big tray so that we can put it in our bins, and then Jillian just has to pull the orders for me.
Whoa. Whoa. Okay. Do you guys see why I'm bringing Bev in right now? I hope you're seeing why I'm bringing Bev in.
Let's add in influencers, because I used influencers too. I started searching for influencers, and I hired a VA for that because I didn't have the time, and I was always like, those no's are tough. So I hired a VA to go in and do the searching and do the dating, which is exactly out of Alison's course of how she did it. That's how I told her to do it. And she started bringing them to me once they said yes. And then as soon as they said yes, they were interested, that they wanted me to send them a free piece of jewelry, then I would contact them and I would follow up. I'll be honest, I don't get a whole lot of sales from them, but I get a lot of new followers. That was brand new eyes to my website. And oh my goodness, do I get good pictures, good lifestyle pictures. These women love to wear it and take their pictures, and they post it, they do stories. And if you look at my website, my whole top banner are pictures of influencers. Those aren't pictures I took. Those are pictures that the influencers took and gave me permission to use. And I still keep doing this. I do it in a rotating fashion, and I'll do like 3 months of dating and finding new influencers, and then we take a break and I give my VA something else to do, and then we go back to it. So she's getting started for Christmas again with my new line of jewelry. But these influencers, they
use Brad's. Brad's is a major influencer.
Oh, totally.
Yeah, people are like, well, Brad's is a marketplace. I'm like, no, Brad's brings you customers and fills your email list up. Yep. So yeah, okay, keep going.
Yeah, so I still keep using my VA. I still keep using her to do influencer stuff for me, and yeah, I do still use Brad's. They're much slower than they used to be. When I first started, I was really lucky that they would put me in 5-6 times a month where I would have a sale item, so I would get new people to me. Now I'm lucky if I get two maybe a month, so it's not Brad's that's bringing me the customer. My email list is gold. I do my biggest sales on my email list are my Tuesday, Thursday email. That's I do a $10 Tuesday and a 2 for 15 Thursday. And they're usually inexpensive items, but they get them as a deal on Tuesday, Thursday. And then I rotate them on like a 4-month cycle. So if they miss it this time, they've got to wait, and they don't know what that cycle is, but they know that they're not going to see that item again on sale for a while. So just like Katie Evans and some of the others do a once a week special that they can only get, during that special time. And the Tuesday, Thursdays are my biggest sales days. It just comes in like crazy.
Do you remember how you said you were afraid to email your list because you thought you covered them? And now they're like throwing money at you twice a week consistently because you have told them, this is how I'm going to serve you.
Yeah.
And they keep showing up because you set the habit in them to show up. So good job, Bev. But guys, the story is so fun.
I still send a lot of emails every week that aren't their give emails. So like I said, I do my free download on Mondays. So my phone could chings like crazy on Monday for 0 sales because I have my coloring page on my Shopify store, and they have to go through my Shopify store to buy it for $0. So it ka-chings. So on Mondays, I'm like, ka-ching, 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 up 0, up 0, up, there's a sale, there's a sale. It's so funny though, because Mondays are crazy, but the people love those coloring pages and they share them. And I get such sweet messages back from people saying that they print them off for their spouse in a nursing home or their daughter likes to do it or something like that. And then Wednesdays I write a devotional and I put that out. And I do the devotional for me, but I share it for others. And the comments I get back from those devotionals are priceless. And every time I get them, I'm like, that's why I do what I do. That's why I do what I do, because I'm touching lives and people are understanding why I want people to share their faith.
You're serving, Bev. Your voice is shaking because you know how much you're impacting your customers. You're impacting them with good products. You're impacting them with weekly devotionals. It's not just here, buy my necklace for $10. You've got a story behind it, and people are rabid fans. And Christy Christensen on here said, I think I saw a comment that was like, oh, Brad's takes a big cut. Kate, if you look at Brad's like that, you're missing out on the big picture. The big picture is sure, maybe you don't make a ton on Brad's, but they come over to your email list, and Bev is emailing them twice a week for a really long time. You're looking at the end game. You're not look at the end game, the big picture of how this all works.
And you'll get sales from Brad's. And I'll get, I sell my Christian items, but then I also sell a lot of heart necklaces or just something pretty. I don't sell just Christian. I sell what I consider inspirational. So when Brad sends them from their page to my website, at the bottom of my website on every product page is scripture. So when they order it, they're immediately sent the welcome email, and then they're going to get their emails of the sales and stuff. I get a lot of people that drop off my list, and it hurt at first. I know what it's like. The first time that people unsubscribe, you're like, oh, they don't like me. But if they buy my items as a Christian item, they stay. If they buy my item as a heart item or something else that's not Christian related, I get a lot of unsubscribes. And that's okay, because they're not my people. They're not the people. If they want to buy from me again, they're going to go look on Brad's and they're going to come over and buy from me again. But this way, it doesn't matter. They're still getting the people that come to me because they like the actual, what I'm selling as far as the Christian aspect of it. They are going to stay, and they are fantastic repeat customers. Fantastic, very loyal, very good customers. Love same it. With the influencers. Those customers are following that influencer, and I make sure that the influencers I'm following have my same heart. I make sure that my VA watches their stories, watches their thing. I make sure that they are definitely Christian women who family is first, things like that. So when I go to send them something and they tell their story, they're talking. And I always say to them, if you could share this and say how it makes you feel. I don't say, make sure that you say this is big sale. I say, make sure you tell them how this jewelry makes you feel. And that's what they do in their stories or in their posts. And that brings me more followers on my Instagram, on my Facebook, and that helps me get more customers that are my customers. They're truly getting what I want.
Okay, Megan just posted in the comments, did you catch that gold? Megan, I need you to repeat to everybody what that gold was.
Maybe Bev should repeat it, right? She said she has them talk about the way it makes them feel. Okay, let's connect some dots here, right? When we talked about offers, we said, don't say new product. Mm-hmm. Don't say new in shop. Don't say this. We say, you're going to feel like a rock star when you're drinking from your bubble mug, right? How does it make you feel? And she was just talking about all the things that were like heart, right? I do this because the devotionals are for me. The messages that I get back of the way it's changed people's lives, it's not a product. She's selling with her heart, right? Totally goes back to what Alison was telling us about, like, are you listening here or are you stuck here?
And I was stuck here for a long time. That's why when I see people posting and they're like, I'm ready to give up. I've given this a year. I don't know how to do it. I'm like, you've got to forget about what you want to do and just do the way Alison teaches you to do. You've got to just do it. And I was stubborn. I've done so many different sales things. I've been in MLMs. I've been in other things, and I was tired of making money for somebody else. Yes. I did scrapbook consultant thing, and I was, made it up to manager and things like that. I had consultants underneath me, yet I was always making more money for the person above me than I was for me. And I had to carry all this inventory and drag it out to this place and that place. And I just decided, no, that's not what I want. I want to make money so that I can give it away, so that I can take my trips, so that I can do what I need to do with that money. And as Alison mentions, I wanted to make sure that I had time to go do things with my grandson or my girls anytime I wanted. I did not want to be confined to 5 o'clock and only have the evening to spend time with them. I wanted to be able to set my own hours and do what I wanted to do when I wanted to do it.
I think that's full circle for Bev right there, right? It's full circle. Like her why was to serve her people, to talk about God more, to talk devotionals more, but she wanted to be able to do it on her schedule.
Mm-hmm. I'll tell you, one of the most difficult things for me is I'm older than most of you guys. And we were laughing when we were in Puerto Rico last week with Christy. I said, I could be your mother, honey. Her and Zach are like, I'm like, how old are you? And they're like, well, my mom's only 2 years older than you. I'm like, oh my goodness. So most of you are so much younger than me. So technical stuff comes hard to me. It comes hard to me. I have to watch something over and over and over again till I get it. So that's why doing active campaign was tough for me to learn how to do that. But I just kept doing it. Oh my goodness, at Instagram. My oldest daughter, every time I had trouble, I'd say, wait, how do I do a story again? And she'd be like, Mom, I told you 4 times already how to do a story. I'm like, I know, but I just don't get it. So if you're struggling with the technical part of it, you can get it. It just takes repetitively doing it over and over and again. And if I can do it, anybody can, because I struggled with that big time.
Yes. Amen to that. Amen to that. Let's dive into the top 10 takeaways with Bev. Wasn't that podcast episode unreal? So fun to hear people's journey and the truth behind it, and how they were able to overcome some of the obstacles that were placed in their way. And then how they dive into their why to help them to get through some of those hard spots. Bev is a true inspiration and shared so much information with us. So here we go. Let's dive in top 10. Number 1, do your homework and learn a little at a time. Netflix taught us wrong, friends. Binge watching in the business world only leaves us overwhelmed. Learn a little, implement, and then practice, and then move forward a little bit at a time. Number 2, be resourceful and use marketplaces to get started. Yeah, you don't have to go build this huge, big thing and hope that it works. No, start using marketplaces, leverage their audience and their ability to sell your product to get traction and get things going. Number 3, you don't want your business to explode immediately. Can you imagine? Let's say you just launch your very first site and you sell 2,000 to 3,000 products. Yeah, the money's going to be fun, but you learning how to ship when you've never shipped before, it's probably going to cause a lot of gray hair. So start small, and then you're going to build up for that stronger foundation. Number 4, always get samples and test products. Don't sell crap. You got to get samples to make sure it's a good product. Next one, your business does not need to be perfect. That's right. Amazon's not perfect. Walmart's not perfect. Why do you feel like you have to be perfect? You don't have to. Next one, be consistent and serve people. When you serve people and let them know that you care and love them, you're going to have a customer for life. Number 7, get your products out to different audiences. Yep. If you keep posting on your Instagram over and over to the same audience, you're going to have buyer's fatigue and they're not going to want to keep buying from you the same product. So that leads me to number 8. Influencers help you get followers and get great pictures. That's a bonus as well. Get you into new eyeballs, get you fresh things like fresh pictures that you can use on your social and on your website. Just make sure you ask permission first. Number 9, email lists are gold. I also refer to them as your personal ATM. It's true. Emails are the best. Number 10, talk about how things make you feel. Don't sell products. Talk about how that product is going to make their customers or make the customer feel. All right. Hope you enjoyed the episode. I'll see you next week on Because I Can Live podcast. We'll see you later.